Overnight, Tesla is playing chess while everybody else is sitting around playing checkers. Has Tesla now got the dominating position in its chess game and never looking back again? We've got now a price target of Tesla this morning at a 6x. Yep, a 6x. Is there ever a wrong time to buy Tesla now? Let's get straight into the trade and share it. This was the news last night. It broke that Tesla is providing the charging stations for GM, one of the biggest companies in America, now has to bow down to Tesla. Tesla are providing the power stations. So where does that take Tesla? Well, is there any competition left? We all know that the legacy car companies never really made much money from their cars. They made money from servicing, repairs, the dealers. Well, that's where Tesla turns it on its head. Tesla, on the other hand, do things very differently. What Tesla do is they're all about bringing the price of the cars down and making money on many other areas of their business, like the robo-taxis, the self-drive, and they don't require the maintenance. They don't need people to keep coming back and having the cars repaired. Other than tires and physical damage, that's all you really need. So the whole thing has been turned on its head, and the other car makers really can't compete with it. So what do you think? Let's look at Tesla in some more detail. If it's your very first time here, click subscribe and ring the bell. As always, give us a thumbs up. That would be really helpful. There you go. Let me bring in all the information that you need. All the links are below our video, and we have links to our cash giveaway tonight. We're giving away $100 tonight on the show, or $150 to a registered charity. Tesla will open its charging network to GM's electric vehicles. The electric car company, which operates the country's most extensive charging network, struck a similar deal with Ford Motor Company recently. So is this Tesla literally taking over the entire charging systems? Without the charging systems, there is no system, right? This is it right now. Let's have a look. General Motors will join Ford in tailoring its electric cars to Tesla's chargers. The deal will help set up industry standard for charging plugs. I love this. I love this. So we had this morning put a price target on Tesla of 6x. 6x. So is there a bad time to buy Tesla? Well, no, there isn't. If it's going up 6x, and I say 6x is in 10 years, but that should be your price target for something like this, then that's going to work out pretty well for you. Let's carry on and read this comment here. General Motors said on Thursday that it would adopt Tesla technology to charge its electric vehicles, including selling models that use the plugs pioneered by Tesla. So you've now got GM and Ford having to comply to Tesla's standards. There is no way back now. There is no way back there. And the reason why they're doing it is because if they don't do it, their customers can't charge their cars. They got left behind. Well, Tesla was innovating and pioneering, and GM and Ford were part of trying to bring down Tesla through government lobbying. We know all about that. Elon Musk got on with it, got the job done, and now it's like, oh, well, perhaps we need to be best friends with Elon Musk again. That's basically what's happening here. The announcement 2 weeks after Ford struck a comparable agreement is likely to make Tesla's plugs the industry standard and squeeze companies that are racing to build similar networks. There's no point. There's no point. It's all over. You might as well get into bed with Tesla. You're never going to catch up now. This is fantastic news for the stock. As sales of electric vehicles surge, the agreements mean that owners of Ford and GM vehicles will be able to use Tesla chargers, which are often the only ones available in many places and have a reputation for reliability. I mean, this is quite funny when you think of the history of how we got here. Anyway, this really also doubles access to chargers for GM customers. Mary T. Barra, the automaker's chief executive, said during a streamed Twitter conversation with Elon Musk, the chief executive of Tesla and owner of Twitter. Mr. Musk said the deal is going to be fundamentally great thing for the advancement of EV adoption. He must be smiling all over his face. But it may raise concerns that Tesla, which already dominates electric vehicle sales, could overwhelm competitors in the fast charging business. It's like you're going to the party and you're saying, hey, can we charge our cars with your system? Yeah. Didn't you try to put me out of business a few years ago? Well, yeah. Are you actually making money on your cars? Well, no, we're not. So, but anyway, it's okay. You can charge you can charge me because it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you, right? While GM, hang on, let me read this next one. But it may, I've already read that. While GM gets access to more chargers, Tesla will make money from selling energy to owners of models made by other automakers. So as they're doing all of this, GM is still losing money on its cars. Tesla is still making money on its cars. And now it's making money selling the energy to GM. So where do we see GM in 5 years? I mean, does Tesla want to buy out GM? Is there any point? Do they even care? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? How many times? What are you going to feel like when you turn up at a charging station? Everything about that. It will say something like, if you had a Tesla, you could charge this for free, but you've got a GM, so plug on in and it's going to cost you 50 quid to fill up. Okay. And if you had a Tesla, you could actually order a robo-taxi and you just drive home, self-drive. Okay. Can you imagine this over and over again? I think this is hilarious. By adopting Tesla's charging standards, Ford and GM also risk becoming dependent on their most formidable competitor. This is the end. Right? I'm saying it right now. I'm putting my flag in the sand and saying this is the end. This is what we've got now. We've got Cathie Wood and other people who exaggerate beyond belief. So I'm not going to suddenly, start saying Cathie Wood makes a lot of sense. Cathie Wood is for Cathie Wood, and I've said the same message forever. But what this does say is Tesla are going to completely and utterly crush the competition. This agreement also has risks for Tesla. The popularity of its cars has created congestion at the company's charging stations in some cities and along some highways. Tesla owners may become irritated that they will now have to queue with cars made by Ford and GM. Can you imagine at the station you got like, hey, you've got your Ford, get out of it. No, I mean, what's going to happen is they're going to have what will happen is, it's obvious, they're going to have exclusive stations for the Tesla owners. They've got to do that, and they'll make it free for the Tesla owners. So eventually everyone's just going to buy a Tesla anyway. I mean, GM and Ford have just put a nail in the coffin, right? There's no way back from here. Let's have a little look. I don't think Tesla owners will be pleased to watch a Ford Mustang Mach-E getting charged while they wait in line, says Ben Rhodes, president of Battle Road Research, who also follows the auto industry. This is getting better by the minute. This is brilliant. The battle between Tesla's charging plugs and the ones currently used by Ford, GM, and other automakers recalls the competition between Betamax and VHS video cassettes. In 1980, VHS ultimately won the battle, even though, by the way, Betamax was better. We all know that history. At one level, the competition between the standards is a wonky technical issue, with each side claiming its plug is the better choice, but it could have long-lasting implications for the millions of people who are expected to switch to electric vehicles in the coming years. All right. Tesla sells cars with plug known as North American Charging Standard. Ford, GM, and most other car makers have sold cars with plugs using the combined charging system plug. There are two. The two are not compatible. All right. So who's going to win? Who's going to own and patent the plug? All right. The plug, the good old plug. Fast chargers offered by companies like EVgo or Electrify America typically have both plugs and charge Teslas as well as cars from manufacturers that use CCS, including Mercedes-Benz, Volkswagen and Volvo. For most of its roughly 10-year history, Tesla's network, which operates more than half of the nearly 30,000 fast chargers in the country, half was closed to cars from other manufacturers, but the company recently began allowing other cars to use some of its chargers. This is playing chess, folks, with the industry, and everybody else is playing checkers. Reaction from competitors was restrained on Thursday. We support all moves to increase EV adoption, Brendan Jones, the chief executive of Blink Charging, said in an email. He added, "We are monitoring the market closely and will adjust if we think necessary." Oh my gosh, this is massive news today. So where does that leave us? Well, as investors, all we really care about is how to make money, right? So this is our price target, and I can see how this makes perfect sense. Looking at the growth, taking the cars out of it, looking at the power. Where's the power going to come from? It's going to be powered, of course, from the solar, the power walls, the power industry of Tesla is going to provide the power to GM and Ford. So we're going to be making money on that as well. I would hate to be the competition this morning. You've been left sitting around for too long. Right. 2023, 393. We are at 249 right now, 67%. By 2024, we're looking at 626. 25, 848, 26, 964, 27, 1,155, 28, 1344, 29, 1467, 2030, 1530, 2031, 1599, 2032, 1674, 2033, 1756, and 2034, just 10 years from now, 1847. And here's the good news. That doesn't take into account, if you read into the analysis of how they got there, doesn't take into account the robo-taxis and the power. It's all on car sales. Add the power, add the robo-taxis, add the insurance. I mean, wow. So the question is, should we be buying Tesla this morning at any cost? Should we just pile in and go, what the hell? Well, people are already doing that. In my opinion, you still need a balanced portfolio. I think just going all in like a crazy man and just going, I don't care, I'm buying Tesla. This is the beginning of a revolution. I'm buying it. I don't care. I'm going to go all in. Could be a risky play. Because what goes up must come down. Tesla, without a doubt, is going to be more than likely the biggest company in the world. Do you want to own the biggest company in the world before it becomes the biggest company in the world? As investors, of course we do. Of course we do. Every single person every investor wants to buy the biggest company in the world before it's the biggest company in the world. It goes without saying, right? However, let's have a look at this. We are now up 38% in 3 months, but we're now for the first time up on the year. That happened just some moments ago. But if we go back 5 years, we can see how it all tailed off. Now, why did it tail off? It tailed off. Let me just change my screen a minute from behind. There we go. It tailed off because Elon Musk sold and dumped a lot of Tesla. He could do that again to raise more money. He could do that again, or he might not do it. Now, he did say he would never do it again, and he did it 3 times. I got very annoyed with him for saying it. However, will he do it again? I don't know. And if he does it again, will it make any difference this time? Well, of course, the stock will drop when he sells 83 million shares or whatever they were talking about. It will drop. But then that presents another opportunity for everyone to buy it straight back. So it could rebound really quickly, even if it drops. So what do? Do you buy? Do you trim? Well, I think it would make no sense whatsoever to just own 100% Tesla. I know Meet Kevin with his portfolio, with his ETF is pretty much like that. Some people are like that. If you go all in, let's weigh it up. If you go all in on Tesla, what does it actually mean? If you just put every single penny you've got into Tesla, what you could do is every time it goes up 10%, I don't know, or 5%, I don't know, pick a number, just sell one or two. Just keep selling all the way. Just every 10%, sell one. Sell one. You're making money and you're returning your cash. So you could argue it would make sense to overweight your portfolio and just buy and buy and buy all the way up. In fact, just buy now, not all the way up. Buy now, sell your S&P. The S&P, remember, holds Tesla, but not much. Not that it's going to make a difference. And in fact, if we look at the S&P this morning to get an impression of where that's actually going, if we look at Tesla and we look at the S&P, it's up 0.07. It hasn't reflected that much. It is up because the S&P owns Tesla. However, Tesla is up 6% on pre-market. So I don't know. I am actually tempted this morning to because that news is, for me, that news is industry killer. I don't know what anyone else thinks. To me, I am up on the S&P 10%. I could sell half of my S&P. That would bring me to 15%. I could then use $7,000 to buy Tesla where it is today. Shall I do it? Shall I do it live on the show? What do you think? Sell half of my S&P, because essentially that's what I already do in other stocks. I do that in Amazon. I've got 16% of Amazon. I've got 8% of Apple, in addition to owning the S&P. So I could sell half of the S&P today. Trim off. I'm 10% up. I've made loads of money on it. There could be a pullback, but will there be a pullback that big for Tesla? I don't know. So you could argue, sell half your position of Tesla, half your position of the S&P, get $7,000. You are still in. You've still got 15% of the S&P. Bearing in mind, you own Apple and Amazon and McDonald's and Coca-Cola and J&J. 80% of my portfolio is made up of the top S&P anyway. And then buy Tesla at this position. Even though it's up, let's remember, we were buying it at 170. What is it up by? It's up by, well, when we bought it at 170, we're looking at 40%. Well, we're not looking at 40% in a year or two or three or four. We're looking at 100, 200%, 300%. We're looking at 6x in 10 years. So does it matter? Now, if there's a pullback, which there could well be, but it might then bounce straight back again. If there is a pullback, it might not happen for another 10, 15, 20% and come back to this position. So there we go. What do you think of Tesla? Has Tesla launched the final blow on GM and other legacy car companies like Ford? It's going to be riots. There's going to be all to hell to pay at the charging stations. But is this a catalyst to drive Tesla to a 6x price target? What do you think? Leave me your thoughts below.